Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus, or simply Frankenstein for short, is a novel written by English author Mary Shelley (1797–1851) that tells the story of Victor Frankenstein, a young scientist who creates a grotesque but sapient creature in an unorthodox scientific experiment. Shelley started writing the story when she was 18, and the first edition of the novel was published anonymously in London in 1818, when she was 20. Her name first appeared on the second edition, published in France in 1823. Shelley traveled through Europe in 1814, journeying along the river Rhine in Germany with a stop in Gernsheim, which is 17 km 10 miles away from Frankenstein Castle, where 2 centuries before, an alchemist was engaged in experiments. 1, 2, 3 later, she traveled in the region of Geneva, Switzerland, where much of the story takes place, and the topic of galvanism and other similar occult ideas were themes of conversation among her companions, particularly her lover and future husband, Percy Shelley. Mary, Percy, Lord Byron and John Polidori decided to have a competition to see who could write the best horror story. After thinking for days, Shelley dreamt about a scientist who created life, and was horrified by what he had made. Her dream later evolved into the novel story. Frankenstein is infused with element of the Gothic novel and the Romantic movement. At the same time, it is an early example of science fiction. Brian Aldiss has argued that it should be considered the first true science fiction story because, in contrast to previous stories with fantastical element resembling those of later science fiction, the central character makes a deliberate decision and turns to modern experiments in the laboratory to achieve fantastic results, for it has had a considerable influence in literature and popular culture, and spawned a complete genre of horror stories, films, and plays. Since the novel's publication, the name Frankenstein has often been used to refer to the monster itself. This usage is sometimes considered erroneous, but usage commentators regard it as well established and acceptable. 5, 6, 7 In the novel, the monster is identified by words such as creature, monster, demon, wretch, abortion, and it. Speaking to Victor Frankenstein, the wretch refers to himself as the Adam of your labors, and elsewhere as someone who would have been your Adam, but is instead your fallen angel, which ties to Lucifer in Paradise Lost, which the monster reads, and relates to the Modern Prometheus of the book's subtitle.